On July 10th, we are going to have a full moon in Capricorn, and to me, the theme of this moon is the discipline of achievement, my friends. Now, I can't tell you the last time I talked about Capricorn in detail, aside from my most recent monthly forecast, which if you're new to the channel, please go check that out because I did talk about the full moon in detail, and today we're going to expand on that, of course. But other than that recent forecast, I can't remember the last time I talked about Capricorn energy in detail, aside from the new moon in Capricorn, to be honest, that happened at the very end of December. Now, I don't know if you guys can remember December, but we had 3 lunation cycles packed into that month. We had one literally in the beginning of the month. We had a full moon in the middle of the month, and then we closed off December. I believe it was December 30th, right before the new year, with this new moon in Capricorn. So new moons are all about birthings, okay? We plant seeds, we plant intentions, and sometimes we can see those intentions and seeds blossomed or at least revealed to us sometimes in a particular way that could be useful. And now, I'm not one of these astrologers that lives and dies by that, because I don't think every new moon reveals itself by the full moon. Maybe on the collective world stage, sometimes we can see themes, but to be quite honest with you, I just think we deal with Capricorn themes in all different aspects of whatever the theme of life Capricorn is for you. So whatever house topic theme of life Capricorn is in your birth chart, that is where a lunation cycle's birthing, new moon, or full moon revealing will show itself to you. And we all have so many different things going on in all of the house topics in our charts. So again, like, your Capricorn energy has many different stories playing out, whatever house topic that is. So anything can be revealed to you with a full moon cycle. Anything can be brought to you involving an intention setting or a seeding involving a particular house topic, theme of life, zodiac sign in your chart. So whatever happened on the new moon for you, whatever you put out there or intentions were set, or whatever seeds got planted, whether by you or for you, like, that's important just to keep in the back of your mind, because that possibly could be part of this full moon story. But other than that, I want you all just to focus on, like, what is going on in your reality this week? What is being revealed to you? And again, a culmination of some other story that has been playing out there, whether it was a part of the new moon intentions and seeding or not. Now, that's something I just always like to say when it comes to full moons, because so many people just think it's a revealing or a culmination of something we did in the new moon cycle. So for me, that's not ever really been the case. Sometimes in my own experience, I feel like I've tracked that, but most of the time it is just something different, okay? And what also separates lunation cycles apart, in my opinion, is the Decans. And that's something we're going to talk about heavily today. And I did talk about that in my monthly forecast, because where lunation cycles fall in the Decans within the zodiac sign really paint the picture of exactly how this lunation cycle will manifest. So, as many of you know, I work heavily with the Decans in astrology and the tarot card associations with those Decans. And we're going to talk about what the Decan is involved with this full moon. And this is and just to say real briefly, this is a Mars ruled Decan, okay? So we're going to be dealing with a lot of assertiveness and a lot of kind of movement involved with this Decan. And I feel the hard work that we put into whatever has been going on in the Capricorn part of your life, because again, there is kind of a hard-working sustainability that I feel is a part of the Capricorn story. Mars is kind of the flavor of this revealing. And to me, that's a good thing. Mars is exalted in Capricorn, and, you know, to have a Decan, a Mars ruled Decan in the sign of Capricorn, to me is already like kind of a very powerful energy for how powerful this full moon could be for you. So whatever is going to be revealed, I feel, is a powerful understanding of the effort that you have put into something. Okay. And what's also interesting about this full moon is that Mars has been in Virgo for the last, I think, 2 weeks now. And Mars is going to be sextiling Capricorn. Okay. So we actually do kind of have a somewhat loose sextile coming from Mars in Virgo to this new moon. I actually think it's pretty close, if I'm not mistaken. So that's something to note here, that Mars, which is exalted in Capricorn, is providing a sextile from the Virgo part of your life. So out of all the transits in the sky right now, nothing else is affecting this full moon aside from the exalted planet Mars. So this should also be considered very heavily when we discuss the revealing here, because whatever Mars is up to in Virgo for you could be a part of the story of this revealing. So that's something we always have to keep in mind when doing transit work or discussing lunation cycles, especially because, again, whether it's a new moon birthing or a full moon culmination, illumination, or a revealing, this other parts of your birth chart play into this. So that's why just focusing on the new moon in Capricorn at the end of December and the seeding that you planted or the intentions you had, it's not always what gets revealed later on. It's not always part of the same story because there's other transits that can be like affected, so that's really very important to note here. So before we get into anything involving the specifics of what this full moon is all about, because again, I want to go through the Decan with you. I want to talk about this Mars ruled Decan. I want to talk to you about the tarot card associated with it, and we'll probably even talk about the Decan and the tarot card associated with where Mars is transiting right now in Virgo, because again, we're dealing with similar energy with Earth energy. Okay, we're dealing with Pentacles energy involving the tarot when it comes to the earth signs in astrology. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about just Capricorn generally speaking. Now, Capricorn really is about responsibility, okay? Efforts, tangible results of long-term planning. Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. It's an earth sign, of course. It's a cardinal sign. So this is all about initiating, okay? Cardinal zodiac signs are very much the beginning of a season. And this tells us a lot about what new moons and full moons could represent there, because they're very initiatory in nature. They are very starting. They take charge. They want to begin things. And this is very important to note when we talk about lunation cycles, because we are definitely at the beginning of something here. So whatever is revealed, whatever is shown to us, whatever we recognize as something that has been worked on very hard, or whatever the efforts have been that we are now going to reap or at least acknowledge, this is again kind of a rebirth for something new. So any lunation cycle, in my opinion, in cardinal signs is all about, again, kind of the renewal of something and the powerful pulse of beginning as well. So we have to really keep this in mind. And this is a very I oriented type of energy. Like, I'm going to start this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to finish this. I am confident that I can do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to achieve. So that's something really important, I think, to keep in mind with Capricorn as well. Achievement. Okay. Like really putting work into something where we can build, where we can succeed. Okay. So some core themes of Capricorn: discipline and structure. Capricorn is the archetype of the builder, the architect, the strategist, okay? It understands that meaningful achievements require time, perseverance, and boundaries. If you know anybody who's got a lot of Capricorn energy, they can be very, very focused. They can really seem like all they care about is like the thing that they are trying to do. And they are also, in my opinion, people that are willing to jump in as a helping hand, like on a dime. Some of the most closest, I don't want to say friends from my past, but like people, there was a lot of people I used to know in various art circles when I used to be an artist in New York City, that the Capricorn people, like the Capricorn rising people, they used to be able to jump right into action and just be willing to help anyone at any time. And they were very focused and very hardworking and always just ready to help, you know? So, and again, maybe responsibility is part of a Capricorn signification. So this energy of responsibility, like I can depend on you, you are responsible. And like, this is why I'm going to help you. This is why I'm going to not sleep for days upon days, because I want to finish this project with you. Authority is also huge for Capricorn. So, and that kind of can go hand in hand with responsibility to a degree, but, cause sometimes, you know, some people with a lot of Capricorn energy can find themselves in places of authority because they are the responsible ones that know how to get things done. Capricorn is also associated with ambition and achievement. Capricorn has a quiet, serious drive. Yes, that is true. There can be a quiet nature to Capricorn energy that is very driven. So it's very, very like, I'm going to focus and I'm going to do this thing. Time and maturity is also very important for Capricorn energy because we're dealing with Saturn. Saturn shows us how time and maturity can really reap us some of the greatest results in this life. And wherever Saturn is in your birth chart, by the way, we are talking about the late bloomer of the zodiac. And I always say that because some things in life take time to become masterful at. And whenever I talk to a client and we look at their birth chart, Saturn tells multiple stories, but one of the biggest stories Saturn tells us is something that will take a long time for them to master, to become good at, to understand more deeply something about themselves there. And a good example of that is having Saturn in the second house, just to throw an example in there. Saturn in the second house for some people can take someone a long time to make money. Okay. They can be learning a lot of lessons about money and finance. And then it only takes them later in their life. It takes them many, many, many years for them to understand how to master the art of making money or managing money or something along those lines. So that's something just to note quickly about time and maturity when it comes to Saturn energy. And I think Capricorns are very good at having patience. And I think, or again, not all Capricorns, of course, because other parts of your birth chart matter, Capricorns out there, because a lot of people also struggle with time and maturity and patience and building. But that's also part of the Capricorn mission as well, depending on what type of Capricorn you are. Capricorn moons and risings, I think, already have a baked in ethic of all of this. Capricorn suns, I think, have to grow into a lot of the Capricorn significations, but maturity, time, and patience and things dealing with very material driven things, you know, or just the discipline involved in something, you know. I'm sure there are some Buddhist monks out there in monasteries that are Capricorn moons, and they're very, very good at keeping that monastery in order, you know? So yeah, guys, Capricorn energy is powerful, and this full moon is going to reveal us something involving the energies involving some of that. Okay. So again, we always have a shadow too to this stuff. And that's something also I want to mention real quick. Rigidity and over control can be a Capricorn shadow energy. Workaholism and isolation. Again, if we want to be too focused on something, if we're going to be too ingrained in something that we are trying to start or build or partake in a very serious type of way, sometimes that can isolate us from others. Sometimes that can isolate us from the task at hand. And workaholism can also be a massive signification for Capricorn energy. So yeah, my friends, now let's get into actually talking about this full moon. Now, some of you may have enjoyed that spiel on Capricorn, and some of you may have been like, Joe, I already know enough about astrology. Shut the F up. Let's get right into what the full moon is all about. And that is exactly what we're going to do now, my friends. So Before I continue, though, I would like to just say thank you to all of you who are watching right now. And if you are new to the channel, it would mean a lot to me if you could consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video. All that stuff really helps the channel's growth, guys. And yeah, we've been seeing amazing growth here on the channel. So if you're enjoying my vibe, or if you've seen any of my other videos and have not subscribed yet, that would be amazing if you could consider subscribing. I would appreciate you. And yeah, anything else you guys would like to learn about me or book readings, I have, I think, a couple of slots left for July. Otherwise, August is starting to book now. And yeah, you can see all of the links down below in the description box if you would like to learn more about me. And yeah, my friends, I think that's all I have as far as announcements for this video this week. But yeah, let's get right back in to the video. All right, my friends, now let's continue talking about this full moon, which I feel the theme is all about the discipline of achievement. Now, like I said earlier, I think in the very beginning of the video, this is a full moon that's going to reveal some efforts that have now paid off for us. I feel anything that we've been building with intention there is part of this story. And I also think something involving collaboration is a part of this story. Now, again, some of us don't have collaboration in our life in a big way, like involving team stuff or building something or being a part of a group of something like that. I understand a lot of us are not intertwined with others that way, but I do feel based on the Decan and the tarot card associated with this full moon, there is something that will be revealed to you that I think has a lot to do with teamwork and collaboration. Now, this full moon is falling in the second decan of Capricorn, ruled by Mars, and the tarot card associated with this decan is the Three of Pentacles. Now, the Three of Pentacles is really about teamwork and collaboration, and we are discussing skilled execution involving a vision that we may have. It reminds us that success often begins in the blueprint phase. So again, it's kind of the beginning of something that we are building, right? Three of Pentacles is like, okay, we have a blueprint, we're beginning a vision here, and how are we going to go about actually succeeding in this? And sometimes that requires help, collaboration. This sometimes has the energy of teamwork, okay? So progress is made with the help of others, honestly, who share your vision and values. So again, I think we really need to keep an eye on that essence and energy of Capricorn, wherever that is in your birth chart. Now, please share with me if any of this is resonating involving the Capricorn part of your life, or are you feeling this could be an intuitive revealing for you, potentially with this full moon, that may already kind of be just alive and well in your consciousness, that you may already sense, wow, I think I need to seek help here. I think I need to collaborate or open up my heart or my sacred space or my physical space for something or someone or a group or a spiritual system of some kind. Again, this can be anything. This can even be metaphysical. Like, I want to call in my guides, my spirits, my angels to help me now in this time, you know? So again, this isn't necessarily all about like getting a team to build something, to be a part of some kind of a new club or a new job or whatever. This can be very spiritual in nature, okay? Depending on what planets you have in Capricorn or whatever else is going on. And of course, we have to recognize Mars and Virgo, which we'll talk about in a second, that sextile could be playing a story as well. But again, like the Three of Pentacles, we're dealing with just skilled collaboration, the blueprint of something that wants to start, okay? Now, for a full moon, this is an interesting contrast. But the Three of Pentacles, you know, these tarot cards don't lie, my friends. You can never pull a wrong tarot card, and you can never dismiss the power of these decans. And I've been doing this work long enough now where these decans very much matter when we are talking about the lunation cycles. But the full moon right now is about revealings. And this honestly is skills and mastery around how we connect with this vision and blueprint. Who is going to help us? Do we need to get more spiritual and meditate more deeply to call in more of our spirit team? If you believe in that kind of stuff, this can also be about learning and growth, because that Three of Pentacles, again, we're talking about the beginning of the Pentacles suit. Okay. And aside, the Second of Pentacles starts the pentacle suit, then the third is right there, of course, right, one after the other. So the Three of Pentacles really is like, again, kind of the beginning of the whole Pentacle story. And learning and growth, planning and execution is really kind of the name of the game with this revealing. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of us are revealed something that is kind of like this full-on blast of like, holy crap, I need to start something here. And what's interesting about the Mars ruled Decan, okay? Mars is exalted in Capricorn. We have a Mars ruled Decan. Mars is sextiling from Virgo this full moon, which is very important to note. And we are really discussing like the drive and the action and the constructive ambition. So this is really important. I'm going to go through some keywords here. Strategic ambition is really kind of a flavor we can look towards for this full moon. Constructive ambition, endurance in adversity, physical or energetic mastery. So this could be a very physical full moon, that whatever is revealed to us, we may recognize this requires a lot of physical movement, physical action on our behalf. We need to get up off of our ass so we can seek out potentially the collaborations or the, kind of the energies that are going to be required for us to succeed potentially in this part of our life for this lunation cycle. Now, when we deal with the sextile, or actually, I'm sorry, I've been saying sextile this entire time. It's actually a trine to Virgo from Mars. I am terribly sorry about that. It is actually a trine, so which makes this even better and more powerful in my opinion, because sextiles are opportunities and trines are fluid, harmonious flows of energy. So the trine coming from Virgo at 13 degrees in the second decan of Virgo, we are talking about this being an energy coming from the Nine of Pentacles, okay? The Nine of Pentacles rules the second decan of Virgo. That decan is ruled by Venus, and the Nine of Pentacles really is all about its independent self-sufficiency and material grace. So honestly, when we look at what's going on in the Virgo part of our life, we kind of have a sweetness on where Mars is. So Mars is kind of interacting with Venus in a really kind of sweet and harmonious and somewhat balanced type of way from the Virgo part of your life, and interacting with this very kind of illuminated ambition that really needs extra strategy for us to kind of understand the deeper meaning and understanding of how we can move forward with whatever is illuminated for us. So I think this trine supports building systems that lead to long-term security and personal fulfillment. It suggests a window where dedication meets refinement, where the small, well-considered actions you take now rippled outward into lasting success. So again, I think we have something that could be revealed to us that shows us the potential for success. I think we might actually see it. We might recognize what actually can be grown. So I think for a lot of us, this can be a really powerful moment to recognize and to actually envision the beauty and the success that could come in the Capricorn part of your life, and maybe even the Virgo part of your life, okay? Now, we really have to examine our lives. We really have to get clear on what is happening in the Virgo part of your life and the Capricorn part of your life. So please share those parts of your life with me. Like, what themes of life are they? What house topic is it? And I think some guidance involving this full moon can be grounding your vision into reality, collaborate to seek feedback. So again, maybe this is a great time to collaborate and to ask for help, to ask for feedback, be responsible, and mature about something, and ask for help if you need it. Ask for feedback, because that really might help you in the next phase of what the Capricorn or Virgo part of your life is all about. Use Mars wisely as well. Mars is energy about taking initiative, but with the Capricorn, the tone is measured, not reckless. And that's the same thing about what's going on in Virgo right now. Mars in Virgo is about strategic action. It is not about just going full steam ahead and being reckless and wild and crazy and conflict oriented and tension oriented. It's really about, hey, how can we master the Martian like a martial artist? How can we harness the energy of rage and conflict and action and assertiveness? And how can we use this to our benefit and channel it into something we wish to build or collaborate with someone on? Or again, maybe even in a very spiritual sense, collaborate with our guides or something a little bit more focused. You know what I mean? Reflect on legacy as well. This is important to understand, because I think when we start discussing the Virgo energy with the Nine of Pentacles and also the blueprint for something we wish to build, that Three of Pentacles energy, we can actually be in a moment right now where we are envisioning something that can be very, 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 very long lasting. So I really want you to meditate on this, guys. What is going on in your life that you feel you can start building or pursuing that can have a very long-term legacy building effect? Okay. Because when we look at what the Nine of Pentacles is all about in Virgo, involving the second decan, that last decan of Virgo concludes the Pentacles story. And I know this video has nothing to do with that third decan of Virgo, but that 10 of Pentacles truly is like the culmination, the legacy of the material story involving the tarot. And I think when we deal with the Nine of Pentacles, we're almost there. So we're really dealing with that refinement and that enjoyment of the things we've built. So again, having this supportive trine from Mars, which is exalted in Capricorn, we're dealing with a Mars-ruled decan for this full moon. This really is potentially a full moon of revealing to you something that can be very powerfully anchored, that is long-lasting for your future. So anchor this into a purpose, my friends. Anchor this. Ask yourself, what are you building in your life that will last? That is my last talking point here. What are you building in your life that will last? Okay. This is really important because we all need something, I think, to be focused on and something to have hope in right now in our life. I mean, the world is crazy. Politics is crazy. We are all struggling in one way or another. Even me, guys, we all have something in our life that is like kind of burdensome. I mean, we are human beings, and I do think our goal, evolutionarily speaking, is to overcome these burdens through driven focus, motivation, and finding peace and harmony through whatever means we can. And in the time we live in, we really need to understand some of this stuff. And I think when we're dealing with Capricorn energy, this is a time where we can channel some of our emotions and, our feelings of a lot of the other things going on in the world. And we can maybe use this moment, this full moon, or anything going on in Capricorn for that matter. And especially working with the Mars energy from Virgo, like how can we use the Virgo and the Capricorn parts of our lives and the events and the things unfolding there to channel a lot of the stuff that's going on elsewhere in our charts, elsewhere in the world, and really get to work and focus on ourselves and focus on something that's meaningful, that could last a long time, that might bring us extreme joy and fulfillment. You know what I mean? So that all being said, my friends, I think I spoke enough on this full moon. I do hope you gained something from it. Please let me know if you did. And and again, if you are new to the channel and you stayed to the end, I would love if you can consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video. All that stuff really helps the channel's growth. And my friends, I will see you in the next video.